So now we're able to use our functions to grab and update information on the page, but right now it's all happening on page load. It's being updated as soon as the page loads, and that's often not ideal when you're wanting to change information. You could have just changed it on the PHP side. So instead, we're going to go over some different events that we can fire off our JavaScript on. To do that, I'm going to go up here and add a new button. We'll put a few breaks just so that we have some space. And then I'm going to add a button. This button's going to have an event called onClick. Now, this is something that JavaScript will recognize on its own, and it knows when this element will be clicked. And we're going to set it equal to, open quote, and we'll copy our bit from our function down here. We're not passing an ID anymore, so we'll go ahead and just pass it our value 1. And that's going to be encapsulated by single text since it's a string. Now, you can tell the colors changed here. This is our text editor trying to help us understand that we've just closed our HTML string. This is something that often happens because you're opening and closing lots of single and double tick quotes throughout your file. To resolve this, we're going to put a backslash before the quote. This is called escaping, and it basically just tells it, I don't want to end my quote, I just want to put a quote here. Now we'll continue on here, and we're going to set it equal to, instead of something of our own, we're going to set it equal to a function that JavaScript comes with called date. And date is really, really useful because most of the time you're not just caring about what a form is submitting, you want to know when that form was submitted. And you can do that on the PHP side, but it's going to load when the form was loaded. And there may be time that passes between the load and the actual submission. So for a true time of submission, you need to do it on the browser side, which is what we can do here. And because we don't want to submit our form, we're also going to say return false. This keeps it from submitting. Now we're going to close this with another escape quote. We'll give it a name, we'll call it update, and then we'll close our button. Now when we save this, we can go and see it execute. You can tell it has our updated page load values, but when I click update, it now changes to the current time. We've now changed something on our form based on an action that we took in the form. We clicked update and it made the change. And you can even do it more than once. If I click it again, you'll see the time changed a few seconds. This happened because of our onClick event. OnClick is probably the most common event you're going to see, but there are a lot of other ones that we're going to go over too. Another common thing that can be checked is not just an event that the user may have done, but an event that's happening just because it exists. For example, we may want to do something based on a measurement of time. We've already seen in our script down here where we can create a redirect. This will redirect it to the place we want it to go. But what if we don't want it to immediately redirect? What if we want it to wait a little while? Well, we can do that with a function that JavaScript gives us called setTimeout. And we'll open this up. We're going to have to put this in quotes, which we're going to have to escape. And then we'll go over here and close it. Now, there's another piece of information that setTimeout uses. You have to tell it how long you want to pass. And it takes information in milliseconds. We're going to say 3,000. That's about 3 seconds. So we're going to close that and let this run. And when we load our page this time, let's see what happens. There you go. After 3 seconds, it redirected us to our new page. We didn't have to click anything. It just knew because time had passed. This can often be used to change out images, or if you get to a page that they shouldn't have, you may even want to say a little message like, you have gotten to a bad page, returning you to the home page, and then send them back there. It gives them time to read it, but it doesn't require them to do anything to get them back where they belong. We'll go over some other parts of JavaScript in our next video.